Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in a game between IMG's Dayshi versus Bly. Here on Shakura's Plateau, Dayshi is spawning as the Terran player on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Bly spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map as the red Zerg. Zerg versus Terran on Shakura's Plateau. I'm sure a matchup that we have all seen before, but we'll see how these players really play out their games. Now, I believe this is the first time I've ever cast a game with Dayshi. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I apologize if I am butchering it. There is no phonetics to help me with the names anyways. Now, Bly quickly already moving around with this Overlord, and he will be scouting out and find that his opponent is not directly to the left of him. That means that this will be full cross spawns, and this is something that Bly, I'm sure, is going to enjoy. Being full cross spawns from your opponent on a map like Shakura's allows you to easily take your natural expansion. Unfortunately for the Zerg player, taking the third base is a little bit more difficult. This third base over here is a little bit out of the way, and there is a large opening in the center, so creep tumors will be in aplenty in order to make their way over there. On top of that, trying to take this as a third base is also very, very difficult, as we now see Bly moving out with a drone in order to do a bit of scouting. He's going to see that Dayshi is opening up with a standard 13 or 14 gas with a barracks as well. So this opening is going to be a more technological opening, perhaps a Reaper expansion at the most if he is going to try to expand. Perhaps we may even see a Reactor Hellion expansion if he tries to push out with double Hellions and get some early drone kills. Drone now coming in, going straight after the SCV that is trying to build over here. This SCV may get destroyed, and Dayshi, in a bit of trouble, finally pulls away with this SCV. SCV down to 5 hit points. The barracks now only needing 3 more seconds to be completed. There you go. The drone does come over just in time as the SCV now wanders off to the north. Upgrading to an orbital command, we could perhaps see a supply depot be placed down over here, as this one SCV is in a little bit of trouble, down to 5 hit points. It cannot do too much scouting, as a drone will be able to easily take it out if it sticks its head inside the base. A Marine now making its way over to take down a drone, but the extractor is already being built. Bly may be going for that extractor trick, trying to rebuild that extractor time and time again, as we are now going into a factory. Nothing too out of the ordinary here, as we may see a reactor being built eventually. A second Marine is being added, so 2 Marines being added here. It looks like it is going to be cancelled and rebuilt once more. A third Marine being added, as the SCV has scouted out his opponent, but decides not to go up the ramp to see if his opponent has fast expanded. Drone or SCV now able to make its way back inside this base. SCV going to build up another supply depot over here. Make sure to stay out of sight of this extractor. A third Marine finally going to join in, and it looks like this extractor will go down, as it was not cancelled that one last time. We may see an extractor or not, as we are now going into Hellions and going straight into a starport. Interesting build. This may be a Hellion cover fire drop, as he's not going to have enough gas for Banshees, but 1 medevac and then training up a lot of Marines and Hellions should work out well for him to apply some early pressure early in this game. 1 spine crawler being added on the front door. Taking a look at Bly so far, he is still harvesting gas. He wants to tech to tier 2 eventually, as we see that there are no creep tumors down whatsoever. The Queen's just staying up on top of their macro, as we now see the tech to tier 2. Hellion is being trained. There is that medevac that I called out earlier. We can see that the Hellions may be doing a push across the map in just a moment, as more Marines are still being trained. Currently 2 Hellions going to move their way out, going to clear out these Zelnaga towers, as we are sitting on 4 Marines on the front door. A command center eventually does need to be built, as an Overlord wants to do a bit of scouting, doesn't see anything just quite yet. 1 Zergling gets taken out. A Hellion will be sitting down over here, but is it going to gain sight of that Zergling? Yes, it will. These 2 Hellions are going to torch that Zergling just as it gets that metabolic boost, and now another Hellion coming in to join in on this fight. Let's take a look. I do not believe the Overlord actually saw anything of importance. It doesn't know about the factory or the starport. A command center finally being added here. There's going to be 3 Hellions, perhaps a 4th one. No 4 Hellions, only 3. The 4th Hellion finally coming along its merry way. The medevac is going to drop over here on the corner, take down this Overlord as we are now going into Cloak. The Hellions are in position, and here is the cover fire drop. Marines already getting damage onto this Overlord here as the Queens are now trying to come in and try to snipe down this medevac. The Marines have to be very careful though. The Overlord does get taken down as we are now going to drop in the Hellions, and now the Marines just torching and doing a lot of damage. A Spinecrawler needs to be added, and the Marines are going up against so many of those Zerglings. The Marines trying to stay around. The Queen does snipe down the medevac there. The Marines now fighting up against the rest of those units. Are we going to get perhaps a Hellion kill? No Hellion kills, but the Hellions, or sorry, no Queen kills, but the Hellions now going after drones. One drone now down. So far, one worker killed, and only that is it. Now up to 2, 3, 4. So the Hellions are dealing a fair amount of damage, even though they are not Blue Flame Hellions. Already up to 6 Hellion kills. Beautiful driving by this one Hellion driver over here, looking to get a little bit more damage. It looks like he may be able to get off one more shot. Yes, one more drone was taken down. 7 drones lost. Still though, 30 SCVs versus 24 drones. Bly should be able to get up another round of spawn larva in just a moment, but those Queens did miss a couple critical injects, and with that, while missing those injects, that means that he is going to be a little bit behind as we now see an Overseer try to fly away. Missing those injects means that he is behind in terms of his larva, not really able to produce nearly as much, as we are now up to Banshees. The Banshee now cloaked, flying around the far side. It got even more kills, up to 14 kills there. 25 drones versus 32 as the Banshee now accidentally running into a group of Queens, getting a little bit more kills. Yes, one more shot there, perhaps another shot there, up to 9 kills, 10 kills already, 11 kills as the Banshee down to 5 hit points is able to escape. Zerglings now trying to find some SCVs, won't be able to find any, as Marines are going to now make their way down the ramp with the help of a siege tank. They should be making their way down the ramp. No reason to let that orbital command take so much damage. Marines are now finally here. It looks like the Zerglings are attempting to back off. SCVs will be coming over to start mining and perhaps trying to repair as well, as this Banshee, low on hit points, is just going to sit off on the far corner. A new Banshee has come back in, but the Banshee did take a bit of damage over here by the Queens. The Queens unable to push anything back, or really unable to destroy the Banshee so far, as the losses more than double for Bly at this stage in the game. 36 Harvesters versus 36 drones. Bly currently training up some Mutalisks, but an engineering bay is going down. Army compositions much larger fight for Dayshi, and Dayshi going to just deal so much damage. Ooh, very nicely done. A nice corruption on top of that orbital command, delaying SCVs from being trained at all. SCVs and siege tanks now making their way back in. There is one Raven in the air. No Banelings to be spotted as of yet. The Zerglings and the Mutalisks, oh, they have to be really careful here. There are a lot of Mutalisks and Zerglings, both sides fighting. There's an auto turret now joining in on this fight. The siege tanks going after those Queens, and now just simply pushing straight against this Spinecrawler. Spinecrawler looks like it will get taken down, but so does the Raven. And a Marine tank push without any medevacs. A very gutsy move, looking to perhaps work for Dayshi, as Dayshi knows that he has dealt a lot of damage already and wants to make sure that his opponent doesn't get back into this. But a lot of Zerglings will be hatched in just a moment. The Spinecrawler going to perhaps get taken down. Zerglings now trying to run in. Siege tanks are in siege mode, going after some units. Drones now coming off the mineral line. I don't know if it was a smart idea to siege here, as the drones are now surrounding some of these Marines and taking down the siege tanks as well. But some drones, perhaps more drones were taken out. 19 drones versus 43 SCVs, as now Dayshi looking to build on this front door and prevent any Zerglings from running straight in. A new round of Marines being added. It looks as though the Marines are going to be able to fight back anything that tries to push. There is a Banshee in the middle of the map, getting in some nice, easy kills. Some changelings off over here as well, as it looks like this Mutalisk is going Banshee hunting. Banshee looking to come in and then gonna find a lot of very open base once more, taking down drone after drone, already getting up to 5-6 kills already, looking to maximize its damage, perhaps getting in some even more drone kills. It looks like one more shot will do it. No, in comes the Overseer, and the Overseer revealing the Banshee, and the Banshee was taken out. We are now seeing an 89 food compared to 40, and not a very macro-intensive game. Instead, Dayshi applying pressure and never allowing the Zerg engine to really take off. Interestingly enough, we are just about to finish Stim. We are 14 minutes into this game, getting Stim relatively late, as siege tanks are now in position, and Dayshi going to perhaps be going for the killing blow right as combat shield completes. We are getting burrow and what the movement speed on those banelings. So the banelings are going to be a strong counter to those marines if they can find their targets. Army composition still much larger for Dayshi. Bly sitting at 27 drones. He's not even going to be able to really macro up all that much. The longer this game goes, the better it will be for Dayshi right now, as Dayshi should be able to get up to 200 food sometime around the 20-minute mark if he decides to even wait that long. A new command center is now being built, about 2/3 of the way completed. We are now seeing a Thor and also level 1 vehicle upgrades, important for those siege tanks to be able to one-shot and destroy those Zerglings. Zerglings now moving out. Banelings now will be quickly scanned. Are we going to get siege tanks in siege mode just quite yet? Are we going to see them siege? No, it doesn't look like it. Banelings are currently burrowed right here, and it may melt away a good amount of marines. There you go. A beautiful baneling landmine, as the marines are now stimming away, and now once again going to be pushing forward. The siege tanks are in siege mode. Now unsieging, is it gonna make that big of a difference, as Bly once again burrowing banelings in the center of the map, just outside his ramp. The marines and the siege tanks wanting to make sure that there is no third base is going to spot that there is none right now, and now make his way back to the south, naturally walking around these units. Spine crawlers are off on the high ground. Siege tanks in his try to siege. Marines being forced to pull back here. Banelings detonating straight up onto those siege tanks, and the marines are going to perhaps finish off the rest of these Zerglings. And the army now just going to simply walk up this ramp here and now get in a lot of damage. Marines pushing in. The Queens going straight after those medevacs. The medevacs, however, simply too many in the sky, as Bly says game. So Bly losing game 1 in this series over Dayshi. A very, very well-played game by Dayshi, and timing his attacks, doing pushes, and doing so even without stim and medevacs, with a large composition of marines, and being very effective still. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1 in this series. Don't forget to like this video, and hope to see you guys on BattleNet.